If that was a familiar noise to you as well growing up, stick around. We'll find out why you might also like the Core Essentials gun belt. Let's do our scripture reading and then we'll get into it. Today's verse is Philippians 2:11, and that every tongue should confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. All right, welcome back. It has been 1 month since we received the Core Essentials brown leather gun belt and their X3 buckle. So we are going to talk about the 1 month review. I've already done a video, and I'll link it up here on how to size this, what it's going to look like when it comes in the box, and what all you're getting with it. But now we're going to go over my thoughts on this after a month of wearing it every day, getting to play with it a little bit more, figuring out what I do and don't like about it. We're going to talk about that in the video and kind of go over that. Like I said in the first video, yes, they sent me the belt. No, they're not telling me what to say. I can tell you guys whatever I want about it. If you don't care about watching the rest of the video, do I like the belt? Yes, there's a simple answer. There are things I dislike about it that we're going to talk about, although minor, still worth talking about. Finally, if you guys have any comments of your own of what you think about the belt, I'd love to hear them down below and your guys' experience with Core. So let's get into the belt and why I think what I think. Let's do it. Before we dive into it, I apologize for the poor lighting, not the best place to film. But in front of me here, I got 3 belts: the Core belt, a Wilderness Essentials everyday carry belt, which I made a video for, link that above, and then just a Walmart leather belt. We're going to be talking about the Core belt almost entirely, but I have these 2 belts here so I can use them to show you guys a little bit more of what I do and don't like about the Core belt, and have a little bit more of a comparison rather than just showing you one belt. If you don't know what the Core belt is, it's a ratcheting belt. I believe the first ratcheting belt, if I remember correctly. And what I mean by ratcheting is let me show y'all this track system inside here, and there's 40 of these little individual increments that you can adjust to. So if I want to tighten the belt, all I do is push it in, it tightens. If I want to loosen it, I click this lever and I pull the belt out. It's that simple. Obviously, as opposed to your typical belt that has holes in a center pin. And then some other stuff like this belt is Velcro, so same concept, more adjustment that you can make as opposed to a normal belt like this. The other thing that makes this belt like special is the Core has their power core to the center of their belt, which basically just means it's rigid enough. It's very rigid. You can't just squeeze it and crush it, although it does have good flexibility still, so it can move with your body as you're moving. And then the last thing about this, I'm not going to go over all the specs and everything of all their different belts. If you guys are interested in that, you can go to their website, which will be linked in the description below, or I'll put it on screen for you as well. But the other reason I have some other belts out here to talk about, their leather belts are rated for up to 4 pounds, so like lighter carry, definitely still doable. I've been carrying it with my Glock 19 and a sidecar and a spare mag, and it's been fine. But anywho, this is not necessarily apples to apples in all these comparisons. Core does make a nylon belt like this as well, EDC belt, that is rated for a higher weight. I think it's like 6 or 8 pounds. So just keep that in mind with some of this while I go over a chart that I've made that I'm going to show you guys. So I'm going to put a chart up on screen now, and we'll talk about these belts and how they compare and why I think what I think. So first things first, the buckle design for the Core. To me, it's a 9 out of 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. That's what this scale is going to be out of. I think the buckle looks really nice. It's got a good finish. It hasn't worn or gotten any real scratches or anything in the month that I've had it. A little hard to show on camera. What I don't necessarily like about this buckle, and I don't know how they would engineer something to get rid of this problem, but I don't like how thick this is. And we'll get into that a little bit more and why that matters. But you can see how thick this buckle is. From here to here, it goes up and out and over. So it's just a very large buckle, and I'll show you guys that in comparison to a regular belt. It's pretty thin, And then the other belt, I purposely bought this one. This is what I was looking for, is a really thin buckle for EDC. I mean, it's not even close. Again, totally different purpose, and I understand that. It's not apples to apples, it's apples to oranges. But that's why this belt buckle, I gave a 9 out of 10. It does everything very well. I just don't like how big it is. And I'll put up on screen here for you guys to see as well, like how much this protrudes when you do carry. And you have the option like anything else, to run your buckle off to the side. However, if I'm going to wear a nice belt like this, I don't want to look goofy and have my buckle off to the side, especially if I have my shirt tucked in. I want to have my buckle in the front of my pants like it's meant to be worn. So when you wear it on the front, again, I'll have this up on screen for you guys, but when you wear your firearm in the front, appendix carry, now you have to go around this buckle, which the sidecar can do, but it just gets bulky, and then you have this big buckle pushing, and it definitely prints a lot more than either a normal belt or this Wilderness EDC belt that I have, where the buckle is pretty much non-existent in size and shape. And again, these are my thoughts. I don't think there's anything wrong with the buckle. This is nitpicky stuff and things that I wish they could, I guess, make the buckle thinner. I don't even know if that's possible, but that's why I gave the Wilderness Tactical a 10 out of 10, because I have great adjustability, and it's also very, very thin and does what I want it to do. The Walmart special, it's a normal belt buckle. It does the job. It holds your pants up. Overall comfort for the core essential belt, 10 out of 10. This thing is phenomenal. I have had no issues with like mobility. It rotates and flexes to my body very well. There's no sharp edges on this. I know it might sound a little goofy, but I'll get to that in a second. The edges of all the belt is hard to show on here, but very smooth and soft. The inside is very, very well made as well. Like there's nothing. I don't feel uncomfortable wearing this belt at all. Whereas with this belt, the Wilderness belt, when I first got it, it's definitely worn down a little bit. When I first got this belt, it definitely had some sharp edges, or sharper edges. Let's see if I can get this on the screen for you guys. You can see right here how much this is worn down. The Velcro edge was like sticking up and would kind of wear and rub on me. Not always most comfortable. And then also this nylon is just not as comfortable as leather. It's not. It's a little bit scratchy, a little bit more uncomfortable. So that's where I gave that. Again, this is while carrying. This belt is perfectly fine on its own. It's comfortable, but while carrying, it's not comfortable at all. And we'll get to that with the rest of this. Durability, I gave it a 9 out of 10. Just because it is leather, it's going to wear. This is going to be really hard to show on camera for you guys. I don't know if I even will be able to. I will try. But there is some wear already. Let me find it. Here we go. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's very, very minor. You can kind of see these indents along the top edge here. I don't know if you can see that in the lighting compared to like here. This is nice and smooth along this top edge. And this is kind of got these indents from where my belt, or excuse me, where my pistol clips actually go over, or excuse me, my pistol holster clips go over the belt. And that's just going to happen with leather. It's the same thing that happens to this if I were to carry with it. And in all fairness, Cord does send or have the option of a black fabric sleeve that goes over. You can see a little bit better there. A black fabric sleeve that goes over the belt and is supposed to protect your belt from this happening. However, again, if I'm going to wear a nice looking belt, I'm going to put the buckle in the front, and I'm not going to put a black cover over my belt. Like, I'm going to wear the belt as a belt with no extra additives. But in all fairness, again, they do give you that option. Weight load, again, we went over that already. For a leather belt, it's fantastic. 4 pounds, and it's very sturdy. Again, I'll put some demonstrations up on screen compared to like this belt, which cannot hold up anything. It sags. It doesn't. The Walmart belt, it sags. It doesn't hold stuff up firmly. When you go to draw, your draw is going to be moving. Again, whereas this, it's like having a tube around your waist that's just staying in one place. Very similar, again, to the Wilderness Tactical Belt. It's just like having a tube. Your firearm's not moving up and down. It's not getting drawn and pulled around. And again, easy enough to conceal. So weight bearing, 10 out of 10 for this one. Again, it goes up in weight when you start comparing it to nylon and other stuff that they have. Concealability, give it a 7 out of 10. This one I struggled with doing because the belt itself, the way I run it, wearing it in the front, the buckle in the front, can be harder to conceal because of the buckle, and you kind of get this pushing out and get that printing, which it's not super noticeable. Again, this is being very nitpicky. It's not super noticeable to just somebody just walking by, but if somebody was looking, I feel like this is much more noticeable than this belt. Again, this belt has almost no buckle and is very easy to hide and not see anything. Not that this belt doesn't do a good job, but like I mentioned earlier, it's like having a tube around your waist. It kind of, uh, it definitely is very circular, and the buckle when wearing it in the front as opposed to off to the side definitely creates more printing, a significant amount more printing than uh, the Wilderness belt. So very concealable. It's concealable. Excuse me. It's not even close again to wearing something like this where it's sagging and you're clearly carrying. This belt does a very great job. I would highly recommend still carrying with it. This is just being very nitpicky for the way I like to carry. So total score, I still do believe that the Wilderness belt, again, the way I like to carry and what I find important, does a better job. However, if I didn't have this belt and didn't know about it, I would be completely comfortable and confident carrying with the core belt every single day, like I've done for the last month, and I have no qualms or anything against this belt. Realistically, I have no doubt that this would continue to serve me just fine if I continue to wear it, which I will. It's definitely not going to be maybe my everyday carry belt. I'll probably continue to carry with this one, but I 100% will rotate this in when I maybe have something fancier, going somewhere fancier, a little more business casual, and I don't want just a black nylon belt. I'll have a nice option to wear that I know will still do the job very well and look good while doing it. Hopefully this has been helpful. If you're interested in getting a core belt, I would not stray away from it. I think overall they're an excellent belt. I would highly recommend them to whoever. And like I said, they have a pretty big lineup on their website. And again, Core's not making me say this. I do think it's a good belt. I will continue to wear it. And like I said, I'm not going to wear it probably as much as I do this one. I'll probably continue to wear this every day. This is a great belt. I'd encourage any of you guys to get this just as much as I would encourage you guys to get the core belt. Winter is here. Finishing up this video in the snow, and there you have it, the Core Essentials Everyday Carry Belt. Pretty fantastic overall. Part of our job as being men is to be prepared and be ready for circumstances as they arise to the best of our ability, and part of that is carrying a gun, and part of carrying a gun is having a good belt that allows you to do that effectively and efficiently. So go check them out. Like I said, you can use code WarriorsGarden10, all one word, to get 10% off anything on their site. Leave a comment down below, like I said earlier in the video, if you guys have Core stuff and you like their stuff. And follow along on the channel if you want to see more reviews, more content similar to this. And check out the other parts of my channel. If you've just been here for the gun type stuff, check out the other stuff I got on my channel. I appreciate you all. As always, be a man, be prepared, and I'll see you in the next video.